share with you that you'll probably enjoy. That's why I'm stopping your schmoozing time. First, I want to give credit and a big thank you to our good friend Mitch and Arlene for grilling and putting this barbecue together with us. This story is a true story, and I know the person it happened to very, very well. So I know the accuracy and the details of the story. The story takes us back to the late 1960s in California. There was a Jewish boy, a high school student, who was 5'6", and he was the best basketball player on his Jewish high school team. And in his days, he was the only, their high school, that Jewish high school, the only time they made it into the other tournaments and leagues was when he was on the team. So he would score 30, 40 points a game, and he was this little short guy. And one year when they made it all the way up, they lost when they faced another team when their center was 6'4", was as tall as the other team's point guard who was 6'4". So they lost that in that round. But up to that point they won. So the story is about him, and this teenager was playing a basketball game on a little island called Catalina Island. It's off the coast of, off the Pacific coast. It's about 2 hours from LA, going a little bit northwest. So they got to the island and they had some time before the game. So a bunch of the high school students and on the team, they figured they'll take this hike up this enormous little mountain cliff. So they're teenagers, they had some free time, they start climbing up. And this guy, who was the best player on the team, he's climbing up and he was ahead of the pack. It's about 300-400 feet, that's how high they climbed up, above the sea. So it's again a mountain on this island, and it's a beautiful view. You get to see the whole ocean, magnificent. So as he gets to the top, he was the first one there, he sees that about 10 feet below him, there's a beautiful little ledge that overlooks the Pacific. Like the perfect picture view you can get of the Pacific Ocean. So he quickly slides down the ledge, and it just has God's creation in front of him. The ocean is magnificent. On one end you see the island and everything going on over there. On the other end, just clear, crystal blue. And he's there for about 10 minutes. And then he realizes he got to try to get back up. As he starts to try to climb this little cliff, he realized that the sand's starting to slip, and he has no foothold, nowhere to hold on to try to climb back up this 10-foot little, from this ledge back to the top of the mountain. And there's nowhere to the right to go and nowhere to the left to go. So what do? So he started getting a little nervous because it was not a great situation. So he screamed for help. One of the other players in the team was his brother. And he started screaming to his brother, Michael, please help me. And Michael started laughing at him. He says, there's no way that you're really in trouble. It's like a joke. And he's not interested. And he's screaming, I'm telling you it's not, it's going back and forth. Finally Michael reaches the top and he sees down, he sees where he is, and he realizes that, this is quite a big problem here. Really a lot of trouble. So, there's no cell phones. You just climb up a mountain 300 feet. What do? So again, there was a number of people on this team, travel team, and they start screaming down the mountain, help, anyone below them, run down, we need immediate help, someone is stuck on top on a cliff. So the bottom guy gets to the bottom of the mountain first, and they run down, they find some fishermen who are tying up their knots. I don't know exactly what they were doing. And they tell them, there's some guy stuck on top and they really need help. And the fishermen say, oy vey, another idiot who got himself stuck at the top of the mountain. But they've been there before. What do? They grabbed some big fisherman ropes, really thick ropes. And these guys were heavy-set fellows. They were each, well over 6 feet, a lot of muscle. And they started climbing up the mountain, 2 guys with this big rope. And they get to the top of the mountain, and they see that basketball player on that ledge. Now there was one tree, dead tree on the top of the mountain. One tree. He tied the rope, fisherman's rope, to the tree, and they made a noose on the other end. And they threw the noose over the cliff, and they tell the guy, say, put it around you, as tight as you can, tie it up, and we're going to lift you in the air to the top. And he's like, are you serious? And you're like, there's no other way. You can't get a helicopter's not going to help you. There's no other option. So this guy, in the meantime, he was a Jewish ball player, right? He didn't know that much. All he knew was one of the paragraphs of the davening, paragraph called Ashrei. And he recited that paragraph in this time again and again and again and again and again, because he didn't know anything else. He just recited it again and again, that's it. And he ties the noose in, it's like, God, please save me. Holding on for dear life like this, and they start lifting, roping him in. And he told me that he had the blue of the ocean on one side and the blue of the sky on the other side. He was in the air, mid-air, over 300 feet above the water. Ocean on one side, sky on the other side. Just like, imagine that picture of like, you know, you're a high school kid, your life is on the line, and this most magnificent view of God. And finally, as they're roping in, they pull him up and get to the top. And he was saved. I don't know how many points he scored that day, but it didn't make a difference. His life was changed forever. Why is this story so important to me? Because had he not been saved, I would not be standing here today. That person's my father. And every year on that day, he makes a party, and he lets us all know about it. And he relives it. He was there, he made that mistake, and he had that experience. Subsequently, many years later, my uncle Michael, who was his brother, got a pilot's license, and he flew him on a one-engine Cessna right above that cliff where he was, so he could go and remember that memory, because there's no other way to get that memory again. You're never going to go back there, right? I thought I would share this story with you guys, an inspiration that I had that's for me every single year, and for him, a high school student who changed his life, based upon this story. So take what you can from it. Be inspired.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Enjoy dessert.
Amen.